Good morning, world. Today is the 18th day of February. We only got 28 days in this month. And you're here live on the 18th Monday on WCAY. And again, I had so many advisors that don't want to put their face to the camera and advise persons, but they want to advise me how to speak, what to speak on, how to fight, how not to fight. I had one of my educators here this weekend. Jackson McIntosh used to be the district education officer. Now he's saved again, in the Church of God again, and he wrote 2 books. Good to him. Stay in God business and stay with the Kai business. I am doing what the government of the Bahamas, the Prime Minister, got on the stage and tell the world and the nation that the first thing his government would do was to let the Bahamian people know about the freedom of information. Everything that the government do, there should be no hidden agenda. That's what they're supposed to do. So far, to my knowledge, that has not been done. So I am in essence not being paid, doing what the government of the Bahamas was elected to do, without any salary, educating. We in Abaco has not heard from Roscoe except for one letter that Roscoe wrote. And if Roscoe is right in what he wrote, it is a crime that the government has committed. When the Prime Minister would go in a closed meeting with the chairman of Marshaba Township and tell him that he must work with a private entity that he is a shareholder in to make it good for the fast ferry to run on the Union Jack Dock. That is a legal act. And what this has done, in my words, is called a trifecta effect. You have that private section, you have the government, and you have the law. And whenever the Prime Minister of the country could say to the chairman of Marshaba in a closed meeting, you see, he didn't step out the room this time like how we give the contract to Brent Simnett and they step out the room. The Prime Minister was in the room, according to Roscoe Thompson's letter, and said they may find a way to work with the fast ferry, and he happened to be the 3rd largest shareholder in that. Brent Simnett happened to be the largest shareholder. So in essence, breaking it down, the Prime Minister is benefiting directly from the taking of this contract. The Prime Minister is telling a government agency, which is local government, to work with his company, which is private, to make sure that they have a smooth operation. That is illegal. That is cronyism. That would include the Prime Minister, Brent Simnett, directly involved in this contractual dispute. Any other decent country, decent thinking Prime Minister, decent thinking minister that's responsible for investment would have removed their names from that contract altogether, sell their shares, whatever. But came to Abaco, we're looking for the big announcement from the Prime Minister. To date, we haven't got any heads up from the Prime Minister. Only thing we know, Roscoe was supposed to make his big announcement. He only did something by letter form, what produced cronyism, that the Prime Minister is directly involved with this contract, and he asks to make sure that they have a smooth transition so that they collect their money at the end of the day. That is unacceptable. Those of you that hear me speak, Kai ain't got not $1 to collect from this. All Kai is trying to say, it is wrong for the government to be involved in taking contracts. Don't care how it is. There's something called integrity. There's something called democracy. And that is why the FNM is in power today, because the PLP disrespected the Bahamian people. And I'm telling you right now, in Mashaba, the FNM is not looking good, because they have disrespected the persons that got them the government. I'm here live. Cronyism at the Prime Minister's level. And then they wonder why they have been downgraded. They must have lost their brains on the way to House Assembly, because that is why you're being downgraded, because there's corruption from the top. This Albies Ferry contract, you think the international community doesn't know that the Prime Minister is the third largest shareholder of the 20 million? That is corruption, Mr. Prime Minister. If you want me to spell it, I will spell it on the next video. It is corruption, and it shows that the FNM government is corrupt to the core, making the PLP look like choir boys. Kai cares. Too much corruption in this town.